walking with the ghost.
So Carol and Daryl go on a mission while Sadiq struggles to solve a mystery. That's the synopsis of season 10, episode 6, entitled Bonds. Now, we first see Carol waking up and she takes for the woods, and Daryl notices and decides to tag along for company. Carol looking for Alpha's horde is what she was all about. What her real reason for going out there, she told Daryl that she's looking for Negan, and he says, "What is it for real?" She says, she's looking to go after Alpha's hordes, and he got her to admit that. Then she vows to destroy the herd, the horde. Excuse me. Now, Negan and Beta, they have a little convo, a little tit for tat, and it's like, Negan is trying to, I guess, get on, Beta's good side, but Beta don't have a good side, so I don't know. Negan's trying, and it becomes more and more like funny as the episode goes on, and it was really great just listening to those two go back and forth. Mainly, what do you call it? Was talking more. Negan was. Now, Eugene and Rosita, they have a little conversation on the radio. She's in Alexandria, and Eugene's at Hilltop, and she has come down with the flu. She has a bug, and it proves to be a little bit more serious, especially amongst other Alexandrians. And then we go to Carol and Daryl, who, they spot the herd, doing that little circular thing, and they see that they are led by a whisper. Now, they do capture Negan, like we seen in the last episode, and Beta is incensed and he wants to kill Negan, but Beta, has to listen to Alpha. Alpha wants to test him, and Beta just doesn't want to trust him, but Alpha, whatever Alpha says, apparently whatever she says goes, and that's how we've learned to know that dynamic, the relationship between Alpha and Beta. It's always what Alpha says goes. And like I said, Negan's busting Beta's ball is so hilarious, like condescending in a way. The way he talks to Beta, Beta can't do anything about it. I mean, he can push him around, he can knock him down, everything. He can't kill him unless Alpha wants that. Now, talking about Rosita, she is, she's very sick. She doesn't look good, and it doesn't look like it's just a normal bug. And but it just depends on what you see in the later as the episodes go along, as far how far gone she is in her illness. And now Daryl and Carol, they make a move to cross the border, and Daryl's saying, "Do you want to risk that? Because if you do that, you're going to end up, endangering the lives of everybody else." And she's like, "Well, our lives are endangered beyond the border, in fact, past the border, and and before you go, I'm trying to say, it's like she says." A little tongue-tied here, but she's like, if you go past the border, we are, in danger, and if we don't cross the border, it's the same thing, and they've lost too much. Now, testing when it comes to Negan, excuse me, but Negan is told to dig. He's like, how deep, what diameter, how deep, how wide. And he's like, just dig. And then we see Negan along with Beta skinning walkers, and it looks like Beta's trying to one-up him. he has this little sliver of a skin, puts it on a branch, and then here comes Beta with a big old slab, and then he carries one body. He's struggling to carry one body, Negan, and then here comes Beta with one on each shoulder. So it's like a kind of like a one-upmanship kind of a thing on both their ends. Now, now Negan is digging the hole, and one of the whisperers kills the boar and actually shoots the boar with an arrow to kind of incapacitate it, and then they have what that one whisperer signals him to go over there and finish it off, and he does, and they put it in the hole and bury it. So it's like a roasted pig kind of thing. We say in Filipino, lechon. And later on, they do consume it. So it's kind of cool. I mean, why not? They have those boars running around, and so I'm like, okay, you might as well. I think beats a nice roasted pork. I gotta tell you that. Like I mentioned, at Alexandria, it turns out that there's an epidemic of sick people, and Sadiq kind of gets mad you know, at Dante because he allows a lot of them in, and they're trying to contain it. And I'm thinking, maybe isn't that the way to contain it? You put all those people in there. But he's kind of like on edge. Is Sadiq? He's trying to contain this thing, and he's trying to, and of course, I'm sure he's thinking about Rosita, but she's really sick now. We then see Carol and Daryl, and they are now very very close to the herd, but they get kind of spotted, but not really spotted. It's like more like because of what happens with Carol. She steps on a branch, and it attracts the attention of one of the walkers. Now we then go to Eugene, and Eugene is he connects. He kind of opens the radio, and then he's just asking for anybody to come in. He did it earlier in the show, and then all of a sudden he connects with a female over the radio, and they spark up a chat. Daryl, he kills a walker, and then he takes rips the guts out and smears the blood on him, kind of throw off the whispers, and I guess the other walkers as well. Now, speaking of Sadiq, he apologizes to Dante because he was a little bit rough on him, yelling at him, and Dante's just doing what he needs to do to help the people. And Dante reciprocates, and pretty much he says, "Hey, no problem." And then we see Sadiq, doing that whole he's sleeping, and then he starts hearing voices, and one of the voices is Alpha, and all you hear her say is, "Open your eyes." You even hear, I think you hear Beta. I think Beta, that was his voice. You can hear his voice as well. Now, speaking of Beta, he and Negan, they continue not to get along. Doesn't look like that'll change, and the thing about those two is, it's just like alphas, not alpha, but like just alphas, males, alpha males, trying to one up each other. Negan is a guy that he's free, pretty much free from you know, from being in prison. And then, he's trying to establish himself. He's trying to be the alpha male there. And, Beta's not having it. He's the guy who pretty much is the top guy there, the top male guy there. He's the one that pretty much is in charge in the sense of, dispatching punishment, and, the one that Alpha relies on to, take care of shit. You know what I mean? And so definitely that ain't gonna change. Especially in this episode, you're gonna see that, they're not going to have really any mutual respect for anybody, for each other. and they're like walking, amongst the herd. And then Beta just kills one of the walkers, and then that sets off all of them, and they kind of surround Negan. And then Negan uses a knife, a flimsy one at that, on one of them, and it breaks off. Now, Carol from earlier, she actually ends up getting a Whisperer, taking a Whisperer as hostage, and she was kind of defensive of her bag because Daryl earlier was hungry, and she goes, I'll do it," and apparently didn't want him to look in the bag, and she takes out some bread and they share it. Negan then looks through the bag after Carol takes a bathroom break. And then she kind of jokes and she goes, "Did you find what you're looking for?" And Daryl kind of quickly just goes, "You didn't bring your gun, did you?" And she's like, "No." And then later on, regards to hostage, he has like ties on it. And he's like, "I didn't see those in there." She's like, you know, "They were, you just didn't see it." Now, we're back to head over to Eugene and the woman on the other end. And they're having a convo. They're continuing their conversation. And, you know, they both are treading very lightly on revealing too much, especially on the girl's part. Eugene wants to know her. Eugene even tells her of his full name, Eugene Herman Porter, or Porter. And she's like, "Oh, that's nice, that's nice." But she says she'll agree to talk to him, and maybe they'll reveal more in the future. But she wants to continue a connection, but only between them, and she doesn't want him to let anybody know. And if she hears anybody, it's gonna stop, and he won't ever hear from her again. And it's a little thing of that Rosita, pretty much rebuffed Eugene, said that nothing's gonna happen between them, and I like the little interaction between Eugene and Rosita on either ends of the radio, and that you can see that Rosita does care about Eugene, and she does care about him as a friend and probably as a brother too, kind of a brother figure. So, they have a real sweet conversation, and that's that. They end up, just signing off. I guess you can say, and then we head to the end part. Negan's like, it's a Beta and Alpha talking. Then Negan walks into frame and says, "Hey, I'm ready for my skin suit. Make it extra large for my big balls." So he says that, and then walks right up to Alpha, and everybody's like, amongst the whispers are looking at Negan in awe. Even Beta's kind of taking a step back, and he basically looks right at her. He kneels and says, "I'm all in. Whatever you want, whatever I got, it's yours." And she kind of kneels, bends over a little bit, looks him close in his face, and Negan's smiling, and she just goes like this, "Shh." And he's saying that, like, he's definitely, that's something that he had people do to him. Remember when he was in charge of the saviors and all that, and I guess he's doing this as a way to kind of get leverage, way to kind of lull them in a false sense of security, or is he actually really wanting to be a part of the Whisperers? It's like next week, we'll see. But I like this episode. I mean, this season is very strong. I like how they're focusing on every individual story, and it really is quite an amazing, thing to watch it unfold. And I'm just looking forward to it next week. And for those of you who stopped by and checked out my video, I appreciate it. And in closing, and as always, take care.